and welcome to another episode of Ask the Data Governance Coach. And in today's video, I'm going to answer the question, which data governance processes do we need? So it won't surprise you that my initial answer is going to be, well, it depends. If you follow any of my videos or my podcasts or my blogs, you'll know that data governance encompasses quite a range of different activities, but you don't need to do all of them. You just need to do what your organization needs right now. So that does mean that there's probably a range of processes that you might want to consider. But in the early days of doing a data governance initiative, there's just two processes that I really would want you to focus on. And one is a data quality issue resolution process, because if you followed any of my other content, I often say we need to do this quite quickly because we need to start demonstrating value for our business users and stakeholders. So we need to be solving some data quality issues, saving people time and money so that then they can start to understand the bigger benefits and value that will come as we're able to progress our data governance initiative. Now, the second one that a lot of people want to do, I would say fairly soon, but when I say soon, I probably mean at least a good 6 months to a year in, is to start doing some data quality reporting. Now, why I say you wouldn't start that sooner is because you can't possibly do data quality reporting until you've done data definitions. So we need to understand what that data is before we can then start answering the question of how do we know it's good enough to use? And it's only when we get to that stage that we can then start doing data quality reports. We also need to have made some really good progress with roles and responsibilities because, one, we can't do the definitions and data quality rules without having data owners and data stewards in place, but we also can't actually have much of a data quality reporting process if we don't have engaged data stewards to whom we can send the reports to get them actioned. So I hope that makes sense. Now, when I'm talking about processes on my training course, a lot of people at that point then say to me, well, what about a maintenance for our data glossary or our data catalog process? And yeah, great, absolutely. This is a process you will need, but you won't need it in the early phases of your data governance initiative because you haven't even captured your data definitions yet. And it's going to take you a long time to get that initial batch in. Once you've got some definitions in there, absolutely, I would encourage you to have a maintenance of definitions process. And this will be like a two-parter or two separate processes. One to say perhaps annually that you notify the data owner that these are all the definitions that they're the owner of, and could they just review and confirm that they are still correct? And the other one would be if somebody actually wants to make an amendment to a definition. So if a consumer looks at that and says, I don't think that's quite right, or I'd like to make a change for that to meet perhaps some new business process, then there needs to be a process for how is that going to get flagged to the data stewards and data owners to review and agree or possibly even reject. So that's just three processes. You will have lots of others, and particularly if you're going down the master data management route. But if you just started your data governance initiative, I think these are things to have in mind, albeit that perhaps the data quality reporting and the definition maintenance is going to perhaps be a little way off. But it's good to have them there so that you know what you're planning towards. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please help me on my mission to help as many people as possible be successful with data governance by liking and sharing this on your choice of social media. And don't forget, if you've got a question you'd like me to answer on one of these future videos, please just email them in to questions@nicolaascombe.com.